I got a DM from a girl and she said, I experienced something absolutely haunting and heartbreaking, and I want you to share my story with the hopes that somebody who follows you or sees this video can help. She said she was 24. Her name was Alexandra, but her family called her Alex. She was from St. Louis, Missouri. She was about 5'2", 145 pounds, maybe a little bit heavier. She had blonde hair to her shoulders, and she had a little sister named Elizabeth, but her family called her Ellie. So to their family, they were Allie and Ellie. They were polar opposites. Allie was bookish and introverted, and Ellie was sporty and outgoing. Ellie was tall, thin, with brown hair, and she also had dyslexia, so Alex often helped her with her homework. Despite the age gap, Ellie was Alex's best friend, besides her fiancé, Ben. Ben was his middle name, but he went by that because he was a junior. Ben was tall with sandy brown hair and glasses, and he had a very dry sense of humor, which always made Allie laugh. Ben was from Springfield, Illinois. Allie and Ellie's family were Protestant, but they were more casual churchgoers than people who went every week. Their dad made a decent amount of money, so their mom stayed home until Ellie started kindergarten, and then she went back to work as a bookkeeper at the school. Allie and Ben met their freshman year in college. They went to Washington State in St. Louis. Ben majored in IT and Allie majored in pre-law. Allie wanted to be an estate attorney like her father, but eventually got into criminal law, and she was accepted to NYU for law school. Ben and Allie decided to move to New York together for her law school, even though their families opposed because they didn't want them to be so far. Ben got a job in technology while Allie was attending school, and they had a little brownstone apartment that her dad helped them pay for. After moving in, the couple decided to rescue a sweet brown dog named Maisie. After bringing Maisie home, they run into a little bit of a snafu with her because the year is 1989 and pit bulls are banned in New York at that time. Maisie was part pit bull, but their landlord said as long as there weren't any issues, they could keep her. The landlord told them that she would have to be on her best behavior, and she was for a few months. One night, Ben and Alex ordered some Chinese food in. Maisie was at their feet and they were watching a movie when 3 robbers broke into their apartment. Maisie was barking like crazy and the robbers hurt her in order to shut her up. They then tied Ben and Alex up and held them at pew-pew point. The robbers went through the apartment taking anything of value and the phone started ringing. Alex knew this must be Ellie because Ellie was going on a first date that night and Alex had told her to call after she got home from the date. Then Alex heard one of the weapons fire and everything went black. Alex woke up and she was in an apartment and there was a phone ringing somewhere, but it wasn't the apartment that she and Ben shared. She had no idea where she was. All she knew was that she and Ben had been in danger and there were 3 robbers in her house and now she had no idea where she was. She looks down and realizes she's not restrained, but she's also not in the same body she was. She is in a short, thin body with long dark hair that belongs to a 9-year-old girl named Aurora. She said it was the most horrifying experience of her life as she stumbled through the house, trying to figure out where she was, convinced she's still Alex. When Aurora's parents find her, frantic, hysterical, and crying, and bring her back to her room to calm her down. Alex, or Aurora, had no idea who these people were. They sat with her for hours trying to jog her memory, remind her who she is, and she could not remember a thing. Instead, she remembered living as Alex for the past 24 years. The year is now 2002, and all of those details were opposite the details that are in her real life. Her real parents apparently worked in healthcare and travel. She'd obviously never been to New York or law school, and none of them have ever been to St. Louis. She's lived ever since as Aurora, but she said she's never forgotten Alex. She said she's never had another dream like that, and she doesn't understand how a dream could be so vivid. She's not sure if Alex was ever real, but she thinks she was, and that she passed in the break-in. She said she always wonders what happened to Ben and Ellie and Maisie. Did they all pass? She says she has spent days searching for any record of any of these people, if they ever existed at all. She said if it did really happen, this robbery and homicide would have happened in New York in 1989. If Ben and Ellie survived, Ben would be approaching 60 and Ellie would be in her mid to late 50s. If they were real, she wants to know if Ben survived and if he's happy. If Ellie was real, she wants to know if she's married and if she's happy. She asked me to share this story to see if anyone out there knows of anything like this happening in 1989. She said she searched criminal records, but these things happen so frequently in New York, it's almost impossible to find a specific case. She said she has no recollection of anything that happened before she was 9 years old besides what her family has told her. She said she sent this story because she saw the video that I shared from one of you guys who said that he remembers a daughter who apparently never existed, the Joe and Michaela story. So she knows there's at least one other person out there who can relate. She also wanted me to thank you guys for listening to her story and for any help that she might receive. This one was heavy, so let Aurora know in the comments if you know anything about this, if anyone can relate. She will be seeing these comments, and if we get any updates on this, I will post that as well.